All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ref Room. I am Scott Smokin Silz, joined by our referee in chief, Mr. Brad Baumruck. Hope you guys are doing well. Hockey season is underway. We're into October, which means now it's going to get real busy as it starts to ramp up. And how was your week, man? Did you work a lot of games?
It was good. I worked a lot of games, and you know what? With us doing this podcast today, webcast, whatever we want to call it, I noticed how pleasant it looks outside, and I think we should be out there instead, not in hockey rinks or doing this. So
yeah, it is.
We'll keep it in a half hour today.
Definitely had extra walks with the dog today. So Frankie spent a lot of time outside watching her squirrel buddies. Anyway, if you're just joining us, we want to welcome you. A couple things I do want to kind of cover before we get into anything, because I was just scrolling through my feed on Facebook, and I noticed this one that came up, and it's for Rich Blakey. I did not know Rich was not doing well, so I kind of wanted to share this with everybody. Let me see. I think, is that it? No, give me 1 second. I got it here. There it is. Okay. Rich has got a GoFundMe page. Apparently, he's having some problems. I didn't know he had moved to Vegas, but Rich has been around forever. Like when I was in the Skokie Men's League, like many moons ago, he ran Skokie. He was at Northbrook. He was at Loyola. He's been around. So, I wish him the best and hopefully a speedy recovery if that's possible. I'm not sure. He's definitely having some serious stuff. I didn't know he had moved to Vegas. So if you can afford to help donate on his GoFundMe, I think that would be really awesome. And it's called Help Rich Blakey. So just wanted to share that with everybody. And, while we're on that subject, we had another bad situation. And, we're talking about scorekeepers today, which makes it even worse, I guess. But let me see if I can get this one back up here. Give me a second. I'll work on this while we're talking.
Yeah,
but
it's actually kind of interesting because, as I'm sitting here, because today I just got done with work, right? And then I jump on with Scott, and we start having our pre-meeting, which is basically us just making fun of each other, to be honest with you. And, we get on there, and, I'm starting to check emails. And what Scott's going to talk about, I actually got an email from somebody that this person's sister is reaching out for other areas that might be interested in contacting the family. So I'm going to be sending back an email about it. Once you get that one up, I'll let you cover it, Scott. But I just saw it. I started it right as we were going live, and I'm finishing it once we're done.
Yeah. And, it always makes me want to relog in. It just drives me crazy. It's not ever just easy like it's supposed to be. I hate to say, but let's do this. If I can search this somehow. Talk about something, Brad.
Well, what? Yeah. Well, I was
entertain us for a little while.
No. What? Dance, monkey. Anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I was going to ask you, how was your weekend? Did you have a lot of games?
No, actually, this was kind of interesting because I don't think I've ever just done one game a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't think that's ever happened, but I had a show on Saturday, so I didn't want to, work too many games. I thought, well, I'll take one just so I get a skate in. But I worked Friday night. Awesome game. Had a college game. Went the distance. Went the overtime distance. I've never had a really competitive college game, to be honest with you. Usually they're okay. They're blowouts. So this started out, I'm thinking, this is going to be a running clock. I mean, this is 3-0 at the end of the first period.
Well,
the next thing I know, this game is tied, and now it's 5-5, and we're going into overtime. And it was a great game. I mean, it was just a nice, hard-fought game. I think everybody had a great time, a lot of fun. And, it was great. So it was a good skate, because those are 20-minute periods. That you're out there for a while. You're definitely getting some skating in. So that was awesome. And then I had a really nice game with Mr. Arifi on Saturday. We had a Bantam Major AAA game or whatever it was. That was a good workout. Another great game, 2-1 game. And then last night I had a high school game, 4-man. And, I think the team that expected to win because they dominated in the first period and lost, it is what it is. What can I tell you? So, sorry to say, but give me one
Those
second.
things happen.
Yeah.
And, I had a college game go the distance too on Saturday, and I was working with two people that I don't know. We very rarely get to work together. Let's put it that way. So I actually did the linesman spot in the 2-1 officiating system.
Oh,
So
you know,
that
I worked that 2-1 about a week ago with a couple of experienced refs, and you know that is it's an interesting system. I mean, I don't know if I'm crazy about it. I would rather work 2-man, or I would rather work 3-man or 4-man, to be honest with you. I know you're big on it because I know you want to see it come into Illinois next year. Am I right?
Well, I'm big on the situation that we have a manpower issue, and that's what this comes down to. And the system is what is known as a dead end system. So there's really no developing. You can't develop a referee in it, except for maybe a little bit into the 4 official system. But the problem is, because you do have to cover that blue line every once in a while, you're really not doing all that. And then the linesman's job is just, it's chaos. It's utter chaos the entire time.
I lined this game, man. I was tired of dropping pucks, okay, to be real honest with you. Like, you know, nobody wants to drop pucks sometimes, but, you know, when you're dropping every single faceoff. Now, from the player's standpoint, it's probably pretty cool because I think you have a really good standardized faceoff. The puck's coming down pretty much the same way every time. The instruction to the players is pretty consistent in terms of what you're allowing them to do, or you know, where they're located in the faceoff circle. They know, like, you know, if you're going to make them square up, you're going to stick to that standard all day, and they catch on to that. You know, it's not 2 people or, you know, 4 people giving different instruction for every faceoff. So, you know, that's okay.
Yeah, no, you know, I'll say this, like, the systems that utilize, you know, where the linesmen only drop, like the 4 official in college, and then also the 2-1 where the linesmen only drop. I think it's a good idea because, especially with referees that, you know, are in the upper levels that only referee, even if you drop the puck, you know, throughout a game, let's say in a 3 official system, you might only drop the puck 7 times.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I'm one of those key proponents that, you know, the center ice faceoff isn't really the most important faceoff of the game. Everybody's grouped together. There's not really any place to go. But, you know, when it starts to come down to, you know, faceoffs and, you know, time won, I guess it does become more important, especially at the higher levels. So I get why they want to have that more consistent.
Well, it certainly does when you get to overtime, because overtime is all about puck control and who can hold on the puck for 5 minutes. Whoever controls the puck for the 5 minutes probably has the better chance of winning the game, and that starts with dropping the puck. If you win that opening faceoff, your team has a definite advantage.
No, I hear you. 100%.
Because, you know, players aren't taught to give the puck away anymore. I heard a AAA coach one day, and, you know, he had never coached the team. So, you know, it was a showcase, and he was brought in to work with the teams. And he's like, yeah, I don't know any of you guys, so the only thing I'm going to tell you is whatever you do, I don't want to see you give away the puck. That's it.
Right.
That was the only instruction he had for him. Do not give away the puck under any circumstance. Own the puck.
What level was this?
I think it was probably Bantam Major.
He was probably sorely disappointed afterwards.
I don't know about that. Anyway, all right.
I'm just kidding.
I'm going to bounce back here just to what we were doing, and then we'll continue with this, because I pulled this up, and now I got to log back in. All right, here we go. Where is it?
You know, a screenshot would work out.
Yeah, it would have. But Anthony, Tony, he used to go by Tony. He was a referee at one point, and you know, he was a really great scorekeeper at mostly at Bensonville. I think I saw him, you know, primarily, but he worked at all the tournaments, and he knew.
He lived up the road, Scott.
Yeah,
from Bensonville.
he knew all the rules. He knew what to do. I mean, he was great. Like, you know, you never had any problems. If you looked up, the time was up on the clock. He knew what the penalties were. He knew the signals, all the things that make a referee's life better. And so, you know, condolences to he and his family. And here's where I'm going with this. And this was one of the reasons why I put up the thing about the scorekeepers, because, you know, we have some really good scorekeepers in the business if you're willing to hire them. And
Yep.
if you have Central States, you have AAA, you have high school, I think you should be hiring a scorekeeper. For what you're paying for hockey, why don't you just go sit down and enjoy the game? You don't need to be back there. I get that you want to be a part of your kid's life, but being a scorekeeper may not be what you need to do. When you see four dads in the box and not one of them can figure out what they're supposed to be doing, this only makes guys like Anthony or Tony, whichever you want to go by, more important in the referee and the hockey world than anybody ever realizes. This is an unsung hero's job, okay, of being a scorekeeper. And, I can give you a really good example because last night, I'm not going to put anybody under the bus. We never do that on the show. That's something that we frowned upon always. But we finally had a stack situation. I go games and games and games. We don't have a stack situation. We did last night. We had a stack situation on one team. What's you have a hand up? Question?
I just want you, for the layman's, to explain what a stacked penalty situation is.
Why don't you explain it as the referee in chief? Why don't you tell us?
No.
Okay.
I think
right.
you were going so broadly on it today.
Okay.
No, I'll do it.
All right.
No, I'll do it. So a stacked penalty situation is to where you have too many penalties for the slots that are on the clock. You can only put 4 up there, 2 on each side, so hence you have 3 on one side or 4. So those penalties become stacked. So in other words, there is a specific order that the players come out of the box as those penalties expire, which can be a little complicated for the average person. So I think that's where Scott's going with
always
this.
complicated for anybody that's not a professional scorekeeper. I never see it. Sorry, parents, I never see you get this one right. And we will come over there. We had a 4-man. I went over there twice last night and explained it. My partner went over twice and explained it. And yet we still had somebody come out of the box and we had to stop play.
And yeah, the first guy jumped when the third penalty went up, right?
And it's like, folks, it's not brain surgery. We just told you what to do. And then we ended up staying with of course, the other 3 scorekeepers left. But the one guy stayed behind because he still couldn't figure it out. He still had his sheet of paper, which, hey, great. I appreciated that you were smart enough to be writing stuff down on a piece of paper. If you're ever scorekeeping and you have an iPad, please have a sheet of paper. It's good to have. It's a good backup. It's a good way to keep everything organized and then transfer it over to the iPad. This is a great way to do it. So kudos to the guy. Kudos because he stayed late. But he still couldn't understand it even when we stayed there for 20 minutes and tried to explain it to him. So this could be solved for about $30 by hiring a scorekeeper to do your game. So you got 4 guys in the box. That's what, not even $7 a guy, $8 a guy. Twice a year probably. It costs you $15 to get out of the scorer's box for the season.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing it every week. And if you're doing it every week, which some of these guys are, you should know what's going on. I'm sorry. You delay the game. You escalate situations. You're causing a problem. That's the most polite way I can put it. Because it's already bad enough that we got players in the box. We don't like having players in the penalty box. We want them playing hockey. But if we've got them in the box and we've given them a penalty, we want to do it as quickly and quietly as possible. Here's the penalty. Get in the box, put the time up, drop the puck. Let's get back to hockey. We don't need to go over there 4, 5, 6 times during a penalty. And you still don't understand why don't we just start taking an official off the ice, put him in the box during a stacked penalty, and we'll bring him back on the ice when the problem is resolved. Because that's really...
I'll be that guy.
Yeah, that's almost where we need to be, or make you stand over by the door and you just no, you can't come out yet.
You know what? Scott, I'm going to tell you, with all the years that I've been doing this, there's been multiple times to where I've been the referee and a 3 official or 4 official, and I'll explain it to the people in the box, and they'll go, "Oh yeah, I got it."
Oh, I got it.
And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you got it, all right." And I go to the one linesman that's going to be on that side, and I'm like, "I don't care what happens. You're standing by that door, and you make sure nobody comes out until they're supposed to." Because now, if we have a problem, guess what? Now it's on the linesman. So then it's
oh, nice way to put it on your partner.
Hey,
See, that's what referee in chief can do. Put it on your partner.
No, I'm just evaluating the situation and making the best plausible option and way to get around having an issue.
That's actually a really great idea, though, honestly, is to, if you can, position that linesman over there to kind of help with the situation. Because, we have a team that's attacking. Like, they're still on a power play, and they're in the attacking zone, and we have to shut play down because we got another guy that came on the ice. And the parents can't seem to figure out, and I don't know why, you can only have 5 skaters and a goalkeeper, right? 5 skaters and a goalkeeper. If you got 3 people in the penalty box and you haven't started the 3rd penalty and you're releasing 2 of them, you now have 5 skaters on the ice, but you still have a guy in the penalty box, which means you'd have 6 skaters on the ice plus a goaltender. So you see where I'm going with this.
Yeah, no, and the way that I try to explain to it is I'm like, okay, look, all right, here's how this works, all right? So we got 3 guys on the ice playing right now and a goalkeeper. How many can we have? And I asked the scorekeeper this, whoever it is, and they're like, well, they can only have 5 and a goalie. Okay, these 3 have penalties that all have to be served, right? If they are only in the box and it's just one of them, what happens? We lose 1 player. Okay, I got that. If there's 2 of them, we lose 2 players. Okay, we got that. Now we got 3. Here's the issue, right? We have an extra player in here. Nobody comes out of the box when the first penalty expires. Why? Because you technically have 6 players on the ice until we start releasing guys out of the box and all those penalty times have cleared. If you start explaining it like that, you get a little less of the deer in the headlights look. Yeah. Where they're like this. Oh yeah.
But you don't even get the deer in the headlight look. You get. Do you understand what's going on? Yes. Do you understand who's coming out and and when they come out? Yes. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this, this, and this. Got it? Yes. You're sure? Yes.
So what you could do too is I like to go to them too. Okay, so when's this guy coming out of the box? And I point at the first guy, and if they tell me when the penalty time expires, I'm like, no. When this guy's penalty time expires, he comes out of the box. This guy waits until this guy's time expires. It's almost like deconstructing like a great piece of art. You have to take it all apart for them to put it all together for it to not get all screwed up.
Yeah, I want to say hello to a few people real quick. We're glad you guys are here. Thank you for being with us. Happy Monday to you, Brian. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Hope you're doing really well. Joey Hedeman, another great guy. So fix the situation that makes it more appealing for younger refs, not putting Band-Aids on because numbers are low and someone can't skate backwards. We keep adjusting or lowering the bar to accommodate everyone else. Yeah, I mean, if you could figure out a way around that, that would be great. I do agree. The powers that be do like putting the younger, newer guys on a lot of these games because they're trying to get them some experience, probably. Rob M says, "Hey, how you doing?" Great, man. Thanks. Glad you're here. Facebook user, I'm sure this is a scorekeeper. Now, this is a professional scorekeeper. This is Alan from Skokie. I'm a timekeeper for Skokie Park District. I enjoy doing it. Don't mouth off to the ref. Get extra time when whistle blows, and a bunch for extra time. How's Frankie? Frankie's right here. So if you see my arm right down here moving, that's because Frankie's right there. She's right here. Yeah, Alan. And we would love to see more people like you in the game because guess what? Alan is truly professional. He shows up on time. He's diligent about what he's doing. He understands, who goes in, what goes on, what goes up on the board. It makes our life much better, and you don't always get that. So I wish you'd go travel and work some other games, Alan, and make some more money for yourself.
Hey, Scott, I can tell you this. By the time that guy's getting to the box, there's already 2 minutes up there. He may not
Yeah.
know always what the penalty is. 99% of the time he does, but he'll stop you and ask you if he needs to know.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he's always got it up there.
Rob M says, I gave a match on Saturday to a kid giving me the middle finger after he called another kid a, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
We don't need to say that out loud.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's unfortunate that's where we are with this. And Brian Workman, so they also don't understand 2 and 10 with someone serving the 2. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up, Brian, because you're right. When you come over and you have a 2 and 10, which we did because we had a guy ding the goalie last night coming in, so he got a charging call. But both penalties are charged to the same player. It's not the person that's serving it. He did not commit the penalty. He's just the poor guy that's got to go in there and sit the time.
It's serve it to jump out. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like, you commit murder and you go for 20 years, but you know what? You got to stay the
Your
full
buddy.
20, but we're going to bring your buddy in here to serve a year.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah, because he's got to get out on time.
Yeah, it's not that. It's the guy that committed the murder serves the time. So it goes on his record as being the bad guy, and he gets the death sentence with the 2 and 10 penalty or whatever. So he's got the 12 minutes. It's all charged to him because at the end of the day, if you were to charge that 2 minutes to the person that didn't commit the penalty, and now all of a sudden that guy ends up getting another couple penalties, at 4 penalties, he's gone, and he's gone for the game and suspended for the next game. So, these penalties need to be correct, and it's the person that committed the penalty that is charged for all 12 minutes, both penalties. If it's 5 in a game, it's 5 and 10 for the same person that committed the penalty, not the poor guy that comes in to serve the penalty. And the reason they're coming in to serve the penalty is so there's somebody to come out of the box when the penalty expires, so you can get back to equal strength. And I'm not always sure the parents understand that if they're back there and you're being a scorekeeper. And hey, we appreciate that you're volunteering and you're doing something, and but like anything else, your child is playing at a higher level. We would expect that you understand the game at a higher level if you're going to be back there. If you don't understand the game at the higher level, maybe you should let one of the other parents do it that gets it. Some parents just want to be back there because they don't want to socialize with the other parent. Like it's a way for them to get away from them in the rink. You do see that. I'm serious. They don't all get along. Yeah, you get some ref dads. But I had a referee dad back a couple weeks ago at a game, and I said something about this because every time I went over there to give him a penalty signal, he never looked at me. Like, oh, okay, so you got the penalty when you saw me make the call in the corner, you saw the signal or whatever? Okay, great. But now you're like deer in headlights. I don't know what the penalty was. I'm not coming over here for my health. I'm not coming over because I want to see you and make a signal for you. I mean, I think it's the worst thing in the world that we actually even have to go over there and report a penalty or tell a scorekeeper what the penalty is. You should know the signal. If the ref stands at center ice and goes like this, you should be watching him go like this, and it's a slashing call. It's real simple. He shouldn't have to come over to the box like and give you a slashing call. I mean, come on, watch the guy. It looks better if the referee comes more to center ice and the whole building can see him assess the penalty versus, standing at the window with the, then turn around and give it again. It's like, I hate that. I don't think it looks good. I don't. I prefer it more like the show. Okay? You get the penalty assessed at the time, and then somebody comes out and gives you the signal. And that's it. Let's keep going. We don't need to stand over there and talk to the scorekeeper. We don't need to explain anything. It's simple. It's a 2-minute slashing call. Put your 2 minutes up on the board, write it on the score sheet. Watch the referee. Watch for the signal. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So, anyway, we're going to continue here. Let's see. Okay, we got through Joey. All right, we did Alan. Rob came back and said, oh, no, we got that one. Sorry. And we got Brian.
Yeah, hey, you better pre-read some of these.
Hello to the gentleman. Thanks for doing it. Okay. I'm so proud of my kid for calling it.
Yeah, pre-read
yeah,
those before you start sharing.
Yeah, I'm not putting that one up.
We're not going to have
Toss you on.
an argument that
Okay.
obviously is carried over from someplace else
Yeah.
on this. We don't condone that. We don't condone bringing things over from another game or whatever, or contest, and it shouldn't spill out onto something like this.
Yeah. Yeah, if you got a personal grievance, take it up with the person. This is not the place to air your dirty laundry, okay? You know, that's really what it comes down to. So, it is what it is. You know, here's the thing. You don't get to pick and choose who the referees are for your game. There are signers that choose who's going to do your game. We don't get to pick and choose our partners. Sometimes we're working with somebody new, and we have to learn what their standard is and what their level of tolerance for certain things is, and how they work situations and react to situations. And, you know, that's part of what we do, and that's part of our job. And after we've done that, usually we'll see them again a couple more times, and you get more comfortable. These are how you guys become friends. Like, you get to know each other, and you like working with each other. You know, the first time out, it's kind of like, yeah, let me see where we are. If we're on the same page on certain things, or maybe we're not. Maybe we need to get on the same page, because it's much better if you're on the same page with your partner. If your standards are very similar in each end that you're working as a foreman, it's much better than if one side is being called very tight and the other side is being allowed to play a little bit more. You know, it's hard for the players to make that adjustment. Like, oh, I forget which side I was on. Did the referee switch? I can be more aggressive in this end, but I can't be as aggressive in this end if that referee's down there. Like, that's not how we want them to play hockey, guys. You know, so being on the same page with your partner is really important. And Brad, you can talk. Yeah, you can speak to that, I'm sure.
Well, I think the one thing, especially for the referees out there, and and coaches and everybody else, you're going to have people that you just don't get along with. It just there are some coaches that I do not get along with. They don't get along with me, and they're like, who knows why or how this, but we have an understanding with each other. We don't interact throughout the game. We don't we're both there. We have to just get through it together, and once we get through it, we're through it. It's just like you're going to have partners that you're not going to like. Yeah, you know what? It is what it is. I mean, maybe that was the only person that was available. Maybe your partner fell down a flight of stairs in the morning. I mean, you don't know.
Maybe you got pushed.
Right? You still need somebody. Maybe you pushed them down the stairs hoping for a better partner.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But I just think that's one of those things that refereeing is still a job, and it's a side gig, money hustle, or not a money hustle, but like a side gig or a hobby for some, right? Or ways to stay in the game, but it's also still a job at some point. And unfortunately,
it is a job. You're being paid, which means you're a professional, and I think a lot of people fail to realize that or really don't remember that. Even if you're a 12-year-old ref and you're being paid, suddenly you're a professional referee. You're expected to, be professional,
Scott,
do professional things.
You're expected to uphold a professional standard, but you are not a professional. You are being compensated for your time.
Well, isn't that the definition of a professional? If you're paid, doesn't that make you professional?
Yes and no, but in sports, amateur sports, none of the coaches are professionals. They're amateur coaches for amateur hockey. It doesn't matter.
That's a professional. It's a sole way of them providing income for their family in a lot of cases. That's their only job. I would call them a professional hockey coach. You're a professional coach. I mean, that's what you do for a living.
A 12-year-old is not a professional putting food on the table with his referee money.
Well, yes, but you know when you are being paid to do something, you are a professional at that. I'm not saying you're a pro hockey referee. You're not working the NHL. It's not the show. But it is a profession.
You are expected to uphold a professional attitude and other things. You are not a professional. I'm sorry to tell you. I hate to break your bubble. You are an amateur hockey referee.
Yeah. Professional amateur
All right.
hockey referee.
Well, now that I have busted your bubble there.
You've stirred the pot now. That's never good. Let's see. Oh, your wife is chiming in. Let's see. Not all parents know all the signals. They are volunteers. We appreciate the refs making the calls and informing the volunteers or paid scorekeepers what the penalty is so the score sheet is accurate. Yeah, you're right about that, Rachel. I get a lot of them are volunteers, but they could also make their life better by having a professional scorekeeper out there. I just think it's better, but at a certain level. If you're, if it's a house league like a Nihil game or something, maybe volunteer. But I think by the time you're playing varsity hockey, you probably should have a professional scorekeeper. If you're playing AAA, they have professional scorekeepers. We don't have parents in the box for AAA.
And I think those are also the amateur scorekeepers. I'm going to put that out there. Just
okay. That out there. Well, again, they're paid. So I go by if you're paid.
They're compensated. Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, if you go take a tennis, if you took a tennis lesson, right? You paid for a tennis lesson. He's a teaching professional. You paid somebody that's a teaching professional. They have an accreditation. They have some sort of certification that makes them a professional tennis coach. Your hockey coaches do accreditation. They go through programs. They're compensated. That's their job. I would consider them to be professional hockey coaches. I guess we could debate this. So, if you guys want to chime in on that one, I'm open to the debate. I get that, maybe it's not the same standard. It's certainly not the NHL standard. Those are the best in the business. That's why they are getting the big bucks, and that's why they work the big games. But
sure.
You don't feel like you're a professional referee, Brad?
I'm not.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Because I have another job. A professional referee is somebody
I know you do.
all they do.
Yeah.
They're paid. They're told this is what you're going to do. You're going to work on this. You go to the gym. You do all of it is towards your profession. That's a professional referee.
But we do have guys that do that. They're working leagues and they're working they work amateur hockey too to help support their bills and their livelihood, but
there are a few out there. But most 99.8% of them are amateur referees.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for bringing everybody back down to earth. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. Justin, let's see what Justin says.
This is
Don't
good
forget,
to end
guys,
the show.
Smash the like button. Yes. Thank you so much for that. Smash the subscribe button. Man, you read my mind, Justin. This is amazing. And literally obliviate that bell. That's right, the notification bell. And that's exactly right. And follow the socials. Thank you for that, Justin. You're hired, man. You'd be a good partner,
what's this guy
okay?
doing next Monday?
What are you doing next Monday at 5:30? Maybe you could join us here.
Well, more like 5 o'clock. We got to start at 5 to get all the kinks out.
Right. Maybe we should start at 4:30 to get some of these kinks out since we're not agreeing today. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, this is just a couple things that I do want to cover with regard to scorekeeping, because I think there's a lot more to it. It's more of chess than checkers for the guys that are the folks that are back there. We get hockey moms that do it, and they're happy to volunteer. Then we got some people that just want to sit in the penalty box and open the door. I get that. And why do you do that? To get away from the other parents in a lot of cases.
And to be cold in certain arenas. Hey, whatever.
Yeah. And some of the arenas, you're taking your life in your hands, okay? Because there's no glass around that penalty box. And, I see the mom sitting in there, and I'm like, you need to keep your head up because there are pucks that will be coming over here today, just so you know.
I always worry about the people that are just above the glass that have a ladder that are taking photos. Oh, yeah. I can't wait till a puck comes flying at you. I don't know where you're going, but it's not going to be good.
I think they stand a better chance of surviving than the person that's the parent that's sitting in the penalty box, because I think they pick their spot along the glass where it's probably just going to be a deflection or a clearing attempt coming up, not the high hard one that's just going board height and it happens to go over the boards and it's like head height at that point for the poor person sitting on the penalty bench.
Well,
but yeah,
and
if Justin didn't mention it, guys, give us a like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, do all that good stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well,
something else I want to cover too. On our
cover it
YouTube, no, on our YouTube page.
I know.
We do get a small commission if you click one of the links for any of the equipment and stuff that we have up there. But last night I worked with Brian, and Brian showed up, and all of a sudden he pulled out one of those little rocket pads, the riot pad that I talked about last week. Of course, he didn't get it from our link. He fessed up on that one because I thought it was mine at first. But he said if I gave him the pen holder, because there's a thing that I have off Amazon that allows you to attach the pen to the book. So I actually went in and put the link up there, Brian. So if you want to grab that from our link, you can do it. They're like $4, and you get a whole package of this stuff. But it's like $4.99 to get this thing. And you can use it for several books, and it's got clips and stuff. So it's more useful than just for your riot pad. But I put that up for a lot of guys because a lot of people don't know how we're attaching the pen to the book. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. If you don't have a call whistle like the Fox 40 call whistle, which, that's my whistle of choice, those are up there too. You can check them out. Seriously, I think that's a great whistle. I know you're more of an Acme Thunder guy. And, yes, you should probably have both because, if you're, it's nice if you're using the same thing that your partner is using so that nobody can identify who's blowing the whistle during the game. It's not it's that person that blew the whistle again.
I prefer a whistle that everyone can hear in the building. And the call, I've been on multiple games with a lot of people there. Can't hear it. They don't stop, and guess who has to stop play?
What?
Me. Yeah.
No.
That didn't happen. Yeah.
They use it in the NHL buildings. They can hear it in the NHL. I get that they're mic'd up, but that whistle is loud. I think it's louder than the Thunder, personally. And it's easy to blow. It's great. I like it. Comfortable. Mm-hmm. I just think it's, I know you're old school, man. Admit it. You don't like change, right?
No, it's not that I don't like change. I don't like the whistle. It sounds horrible. It sounds like a train.
The tone's a little different. I'll give you that. The tone is definitely different. It's an acquired taste. But
you sound like a train.
Yeah, that's up for debate. We could be here for a half hour on that. We're not going to do that today.
All
right. So Brian said, "Whoops." Oh, I'm guessing that's because he didn't know, but he said perfect.
He didn't get that. Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Well, anyway, that was a couple of points that I wanted to make, and let's see what this. Oh yeah, Alan likes to say before the game, test your whistle, have a spare in your pocket. Yeah, that's good advice, Alan. Very good advice. If you have the call whistle, you won't have to test it because there's no pee inside of it. The pee is the little round ball. It doesn't freeze up, so they always work. Like if you're working outdoor or in a really cold place, you don't have to worry about it. It will blow versus the Thunderers that you may have to shake or defrost. Put it in the microwave and see what happens.
I can't wait till you go to blow your call one day. It's just a finger lube.
Okay.
You just said it always works.
It always works. It always works.
Remember that. Mark my words. You said it always works till it gets broken off the top of there.
Okay.
And then it won't work. There's no way around it not working.
That's when you reach in your pocket and you pull out the spare.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. All right, let's go.
All right. So with that, folks, we will be back next Monday, 5:30. Now that it's hockey season, we're here every week. If you have a topic or something you want us to discuss, feel free to send us an email and or put it in the comments. And, we do read the comments. I was going to go through a couple of Facebook posts today because there were a couple interesting Facebook posts up there, but we'll save that for next week. And, you guys have a great week. Take an extra game or two and stay safe out there. And we will see you next Monday at 5:30 Chicago time right here on the Ref Room. Bye, Brad.
Have a good one. I don't know what else you want from me.
Hey, give us a professional goodbye, huh?
I'll give you the amateur goodbye. End the show.
Goodbye, everybody. Peace
Bye.
out.